Call the School Board of St. Lucie County Special Tentative Budget Meeting to order. Let the record reflect that it is 5:01 in the afternoon. Welcome to all of you that were here with us. It's been a long day, I know, but an exciting one where a lot has been going on, so we're glad those of you that could come tonight are here with us. If you would please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And our treasure hunter pledge. As an adult and a treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the talents, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children and youth. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Thank you. Tonight is our tentative budget hearing, so I will open the public hearing for our proposed adoptions, and I will at this time turn the meeting over to our CFO, Michelle. Thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, school board members, Superintendent Gent. This will be a brief overview of the tentative budget. We will cover the required elements of discussion, and at the end of the presentation, we'll vote to approve millage rates. After millage rates are approved, we will vote to approve the budget and resolutions, all three resolutions at one time. This slide shows the proposed millage rates, taxable value and millage and tax collection revenue estimates at 100% and 96%. We budget at 96%. Last year we collected 96.23%. This is a little awkward. As a reminder, the board must levy the 3.874 and the 1.000. The 7.48 and the 1.5 are maximums, and only action the board could take would be to reduce those. We do not recommend reducing. This slide is a history of the millage rates. This slide shows a break between the capital operating and voted millages and shows where the legislature demanded a shift. Capital outlay shifted from 2.0 mils in 2007-8 to 1.5 in 2009-10. You can also see where we have the additional voted 1 mil in 1920. Here's the impact on the average homeowner. We get this information from the property appraiser every year. The taxable value for an average homeowner in the county went up by approximately 8.8%. You can see the non-votage millage rate is going down, but we have an additional 1 mil that was voted, and there's also an increase in taxable value. Therefore, you will see an increase in total taxes of approximately $208.27 on the average homeowner with a $25,000 homestead exemption. This shows a trend in taxable value history. The entire county's gross taxable value makes up the taxes. And on this slide, it shows the gross tax collection history. For comparison purposes on this slide, I excluded the 1.00 voted mill for 1920, and we'll show the effect of that on the next slide. It's interesting to note that on this slide, taxable value is increasing, but on this slide, the tax collection history is not increasing at the same rate. That's because the legislature mandates what the required local effort is, and they've capped our other millage rates. This slide, you can see the impact that the additional voted 1.000 mil will have on our collections. Results in a $24 million additional revenue. The 1.00 additional voted mill will remain in effect for 4 years as required by law. The additional revenue generated from this additional voted mill will be used to recruit, retain, qualify teachers, improve school security, improve mental health services, and fund other essential operations that preserve important school programs. This chart is included just in case anyone says the school district's impact on taxpayers is too demanding. Looking back at 2007-8, we are collecting $184 million. Excluding the additional voted 1 mil, we would be proposed to collect $147 million. So we are down $37 million a year compared to that benchmark year pre-Great Recession. Cumulatively, $372 million in reduced tax burden to the property owners of the county. This slide incorporates the additional voted mill of 1.000. We are proposed to collect $171 million, and we are still down $13 million a year compared to that benchmark year. The rollback rates discussion is something we are required to talk about. Here's a table that will help explain it. In 1819, the taxable value was $23.1 billion. The millage rate was 6.335. That generated $146.7 million. The rollback rate is a calculated rate that will generate the same revenue using this year's taxable value. The rollback rate is 5.9689. So 5.9689 times the current taxable value generates $146.7 million. Since we have a proposed rate of 7.122 that exceeds the 5.9689, we have to compare those two and make a public statement that the proposed rate is 19.32% greater than the rollback rate. Here's the summary of the budget. This includes beginning reserves, revenues, appropriations, and ending reserves. Grand total of $614,007,927, which is amended throughout the year by official board action. Are there any questions? Does anyone want to address the board prior to the board voting on proposed millages, budget, and other resolutions? This is the tentative board hearing. The millage rates could change before the final hearing on September 10th. This is highly unlikely, but this is not the final hearing. This is the tentative hearing.
There were no folks from the public wishing to speak, so we will at this time receive your recommendation, Mr. Superintendent.
Recommend the board approve the tentative required local effort millage of 3.874 mils as specified in the resolution 2019-20 trim tentative A.
Board members, we have a recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Dr. Mills with the motion. A second? Second with Mr. Ingersoll. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Your next recommendation, Mr. Superintendent?
Recommend the board approve the tentative district school tax discretionary operating millage of 0.748 mils as specified in resolution 2019-20 trim tentative A.
Board members, we have the recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Ms. Hensley and Ms. Hilson with the second. Any conversation? All in favor? Aye. And motion passes 5-0. Your recommendation for 2.04, Mr. Superintendent?
Recommend the board approve the tentative district discretionary local capital improvement millage of 1.500 mils as specified in resolution 2019-20 trim tentative A.
Board members, we have a recommendation, a motion. Moved by Ms. Hilson, second by Dr. Mills. Any conversation? All in favor? Aye. Motion passes 5-0. Recommendation for 2.05, Mr. Superintendent?
Recommend the board approve the tentative district additional voted millage of 1.000 mils as specified in the resolution 2019-20 tentative A.
Board members, we have a recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Ms. Hensley, do I hear a second by Mr. Ingersoll? Any conversation? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. 2.06, Mr. Superintendent?
Recommend the board adopt the 2019-20 tentative budget in the amount of $614,007,927.
I have received the recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Second. Motion by Dr. Mills, second by Ms. Hilson. Any conversation? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. And finally, Mr. Superintendent? your recommendation for 2.07.
I recommend the board adopt Resolution 2019-20 Trim Tentative B, Resolution 2019-20 Trim Tentative C, and Resolution 2019-20 Trim Tentative D.
Board members, we have his recommendation. Here. Moved by Ms. Hensley, second by Dr. Mills. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Well done. And we move now to our other business for board approval, and Mr. Superintendent will receive your recommendation.
I recommend the board approve the 5 other business items, number 3.01 through 3.05 as submitted, and it is noted for the record that item 3.06 has been deleted.
Board members, we have the recommendation. Do I hear a motion? Thank you, Ms. Hensley. Second by Dr. Mills. Any conversation? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Item number 4 is school board member travel request, an opportunity for the public to take and give any comment. It is delineated in front of us that 4 of the school board members wish to travel to the Greater Florida Consortium meeting, annual legislative meeting on August 15th and 16th in Key West, Florida. All of the charges are laid out. Are there any from the public that wish to comment? Seeing none, do I have a motion from a board member? Yes. Second. Thank you, Ms. Hensley. Second by Mr. Ingersoll. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries 5-0. There being no other business.
Just one thing. I just want to thank, we had our, like as you said, we had our leadership kickoff today. I want to thank the board for being there. We're going to have a photo taken afterwards in our shirts. And I see our hardworking staff here as well. I want to thank them. It's been a long day, but it was a very successful day. So I just wanted to publicly thank them for the great job that they did. And Michelle, good job tonight. Very nice, very good. You still have to come to a cabinet tomorrow, but great job. Thank you. Take off Friday.
Yeah. Okay. Now, there being no other further business to come before the board, we are adjourned.